What is up, everyone? Day one of NCAA's is in the books. The men's prelims went down, some finals, notably in the 10K and very, very notably in the pole vault. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's make some introductions. My name's Lincoln Shrike, Kevin Soley here.
Hello.
We're here on site in Austin, Texas. A wild first day, and I know we say that a lot. Literally, it could be the dullest thing ever we'd say that. But Kevin, Mondo Duplantis lost a collegiate competition today.
I thought he was the biggest favorite in the entire meet. I don't think many people would disagree with that, but he ran up against Chris Nilsson, who had the meet of his life. This guy was already established, but he had never gone over 590. Drops a 5.95 meet vault on his first attempt, which Mondo said set him back on his heels a little bit. Wasn't expecting a 595. Afterwards, you know, he said that's like a world championship jump. You can win gold medals with that. Mondo missed the 590 and then two shots at 95. Couldn't get it done. So it's just his freshman year. He said he came in with 4 goals, collegiate record indoors, collegiate record outdoors, and then indoor title, outdoor title. He ends his freshman year with 3 of the 4. Still a great year by any standard, but this is somebody who's vaulted 605 before, one of the best vaulters in the nation, or the world, excuse me. So expected him to win.
Yeah, I think, you saying he was on his heels from what Nielsen did, getting up to 595 on the first attempt is right. He literally talked about some technical issues he had. He's scrambling through his bag looking for a bigger pull. It's not the usual progression that they're used to going, boom, 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 boom. When you hit 595 so early, he was left scrambling and didn't exactly expect that at all. He jumped 5'8", so that's a height that can win competitions too. This really was about Nelson though, and of course Mondo didn't have a good day, but a lot of that, we think of it such as an individual competition, but it's a little bit of chess there, and then Mondo wasn't ready for that move, I don't think.
And for those of you looking for Mondo Pro News, he said afterward, no timeline on the decision about whether or not he'll come back to LSU. He said he hasn't even planned out his summer schedule, doesn't know when his next competition is, so stay tuned. Again, I mean, he's still an amazing season, but these NCAA championships have a way of taking big favorites and still putting them in the heat of competition. Seen it with Grant Holloway as well. Yeah. Let's go right to that. Good segue there. The prelims, and we will get to the 10K. The prelims in the 110 meter hurdles did not disappoint. Daniel Roberts was the big one though. 13:06, Kevin. Did you expect that out of him? Because I didn't expect that fast in the prelims. Yes, I expected that fast. They've been running 13:07s, they've been running 13:10s, they've been running 13:12s, and then they get to the big stage. It does not surprise me at all. They did a 13:06, which is the second best time in collegiate history. Obviously a world lead. Holloway countered with a very respectable mark of his own in the next heat after that, 13:16.
It was enough, he ran that. It was enough for me to switch my pick though. I think Roberts is gonna win now, and easy enough. I just think he's looking better right now. I think he's got that start figured out. And the funniest thing is, we talked to a lot of people today on the first day, mix zone, in and out and whatnot. Daniel Roberts was Where's Waldo today. Couldn't find him.
He's ready.
He would leave and then he would run and then he would just completely poof. So who knows? I guess that's the takeaway. He is focused, and he had a busy day himself. He also ran the 4x1 and 4x4. So
I'm still taking Holloway.
Really? I don't know.
I mean, 13:06 is great.
A 10th? I know they didn't run the same.
Not in the same heat. Remember, SECs, Holloway was faster in the prelim, and then Roberts got him in the final. So there's some precedent there.
Ooh, it's gonna be fun. I think you went on record saying 2 sub-13s in the final.
Yes, still on record, 2 sub-13s in the final. I think Holloway just edges him out. It's gonna come down to the lean, but then in the long jump, pretty surprising. Only finishes 12th. He's
didn't make the final, right?
Yeah, he's been on and off in that event throughout his career. This is definitely an off competition.
I got the sense that he didn't spend a lot of time. I mean, it just seemed like.
You got the sense?
I got the sense that, he struggles to find time to practice all these events, and which one's going to go by the wayside. It's going to be a long jump.
Right.
But it's still disappointing, and that's really, really rough for Florida's team chances. He gets no points there. Let's transition it to the team battle. And again, we will talk about those 10Ks. For those of you wanting to...
The 10K ties into the team battle, because there's a team that could be on the podium.
BYU. They scored 21 points in the 10K, led by Clayton Young, really motivated, I guess, by saying he dragged the team down in cross country. He was in the 70s. I mean, first of all, on his head, that's insane. A guy who finished 7th in the 70s in cross country just won a national title. Was it a little bit of a weak field? Yes. Was there no pre-race favorite? Was it a somebody had to win type race? Yes. But Clayton Young closed in 55
Did it.
seconds,
Yeah.
which is pretty stinking good. Had his teammates, McMillan in third, and then Mance in fourth, so the two Connors were right there.
Two Connors in the top 4.
It was a wild race in the sense that it was obviously hot and there were some weird things going on. Lawrence Kipkoech literally stopped at one point to stretch his muscles, and I thought he was going to quit. We had a flat tire, one of the Wildchat brothers. But you're right, BYU gets the job done, and now with 4 guys making the steeple final, I got a bug on my leg, and they get a guy through in the 1500. Their podium chances are looking pretty strong.
Interesting thing, they're right now 4th in the projections. Interesting thing for BYU, 6 guys in the final, but didn't have any sort of coordinated plan.
Yeah.
Everybody did their own thing. I think they said it was Connor McMillan who said you run best when you put yourself first or something like that. You know, don't think too much about what everybody else is doing. Mance mid-race was off the pack and then did this crazy surge to catch up. He said just follow Clayton, follow Clayton. A lot of guys in it at the bell, and Young did it. He's been close a bunch of times. I talked to his dad afterwards. His dad said,
always good.
Well, his dad said he was surprised too. He's like, I've just seen him, get out kicked so many times before. He said, I know it might sound bad, but I just was expecting someone to pass him, and no one did tonight. Props to BYU fans. They had coordinated chants. Props to Isaac Wood.
The guy lost his mind.
We were 10 feet from a man who lost his mind tonight, Lincoln. Also, Ed Eystone was running through the bleachers. Gordon caught that on camera. So men's 10,000 was action-packed.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun event. The crowd very much thinned. It was a little eerie here. If you want to know the difference between a meet in Austin, Texas versus Eugene, Oregon, when the 10K is being run, a lot less people, a lot quieter. I could hear the music, notably The Summer of '69. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but it played prominently there. So not quite the atmosphere for the distance races, but yeah, it was still a good one overall. Now, to the team side of things, 2 squads heavy in the sprints had really good days. Texas Tech and Houston.
Yeah, exactly. Mario Burke got a wind legal sub 10 for the first time in his career, but the big surprise was him in the 200 because if you watch the West Prelim, barely scraped by. I mean, got in, but was definitely not.
But he was running on the fumes of anger of dropping the baton in that, and I didn't take him seriously. And today he dropped, what did he run, 20-0?
Yeah, second qualifier in, so that was huge for him. They also got Kamari Montgomery and Obi Abakwe in the 400. They got Amir Latin in both hurdles. They got Tremaine Jefferson second in the long jump too. The only person they really didn't get through that they expected probably was Kamari Montgomery in the 200, but he's still done the 4. They didn't even run him in the 4x4. Their 4x4 looked solid, so they were good. Texas Tech, Divine Odeduru threw in both. Andrew Hudson threw in the 200. Maybe an injury with O'Dane Lewis in the jumps that happened right near us.
Literally the jumps, the long jump, triple jump are going to be coming into the mix zone. It's incredible.
Yeah, so they need him for the long and the triple. So Texas Tech also gets 200-meter runners into the final.
Divine had a great day.
Yeah, and they look really, really sharp. Yeah, Divine, were both his races wind dated? I know the 100
was 1997. No, it wasn't wind dated. It was legal.
100 was, 200 wasn't. It doesn't matter. I think he's still a big favorite in the 200. 100 is going to be interesting. The 4 guys we thought are still there.
Yeah. It's going to be good. I think Burke might have the edge here. I don't know. I mean, it's either him or Divine.
Sonny Brown and Divine, they're all there. LSU had a tough day. John Forney doesn't qualify.
That's an understatement. They had a really bad day.
In the 200, Mondo, we mentioned, gets 8 instead of 10, which wasn't the big thing. Javon Harrison wins the long jump, but Rayvon Gray doesn't score. So that could have been a potential 1-2 for them. And they don't get a score through there. They had a scratch in the 400 as well. Obviously, they're 4x4 not here because of what happened at East Prelims. Things are separating.
It's a nightmare scenario for them so far, right? I mean, that's about as bad. I mean, Flournoy was supposed to score in the 200. He didn't even run after. Something happened after his 100 prelim. He ran 10:67. I just thought, I did have a good one, but then he didn't show up for the 200.
The 4x4 looked good, or 4x1, excuse me, looked good at the beginning.
Right, but that was before the 100. Yeah. So I mean, that's another thing. I didn't even think about that. The 4x1 could be open now to I mean, Florida's right there. It's Texas Tech could win. It's crazy.
Other people looked good. 400.
I mean,
North Carolina A&T.
Stewart looked pretty good. Now, I'm starting to swing my bets though on. I feel like Montgomery's going to win now. He looked really good, and I think he's waiting to pop off a fast one. Obi looked good for Houston as well. They're going to score a ton of points there.
Count out Will London, veteran.
Yeah. He's been in the marshes this season, and then hasn't gotten a ton. Yeah, I don't know, just not a. So that's going to be a fun final. And then Bryce Hoppel continues his win streak.
Yeah, it runs into 18 consecutive prelims, snuck by Devon Dixon. We asked Dixon afterwards, hey, did you go all out?
I just want to say, I think he gets taller every time. I think he's like 6'9" now.
And he runs another 44 mid-split to 404, by the way.
Yeah.
He said, I don't really care about winning prelims. Some people, they need that to do that. He doesn't. He feels confident going in. He said he learned from indoors, run his own, don't get caught up with anybody else, which I think means we're going to see him front run. And I think that's the best chance, because if it's him and Hoppel with 100 to go, Hoppel has that nose for the finish line.
I mean, I can already see that one. To me, the time is the question. Will it be a 144 race? I think it will be. But I can basically tell you how it's going to play out, in my opinion. It's going to be Dixon leading for 700, and then maybe 750, and then Hoppel goes around him. I mean, that one just feels so predictable. It seems that is exactly what's going to happen. Literally, it's happened 2 races in a row. I know it's prelims. I think those were, I mean, obviously they're concerted efforts for Hoppel, but I don't think that was necessarily just Dixon giving in. I think Hoppel just has that kick right now.
I think there's just a little extra urgency, or a lot of extra.
I need these guys to not like each other. It feels like they like each other too much.
I think they like each other. I think they respect each other. What do you think about those 1500 qualifiers? Some surprises there. Some
surprises. Villarreal went out, basically just said he had nothing. Also, Wally Suleiman of Ole Miss kind of continues the trend, unfortunately for him, of running fast times and then not being very good when it gets to champions season. So not sure what's there. Oliver Hoare looked good. Kip Rodich was a little all over the place, but that's kind of his MO. He's going to be great. I still like Hoare. I think
Worley gets through too.
Yeah, Worley looked good. The Goose looks good. I think Oliver Hoare's going to win.
Steeplechase.
It was rough. That was the first event where it was like the heat is going to play a role. There were some guys who ran really, really fast in prelims who were basically non-factors. I mean, we're like struggling to get to the finish line. So if you want to know what the precipice there, or not the precipice, what the line is for when the heat really becomes an issue, I think 3,000 meters is safe there. The favorites were fine. Ryan Smeaton got through, and so did Opsa Ali, and the Stanford Stephen Fahey, and then Mahalski, who's run pretty quick and also up there. It's going to come down to, and Ryan Smeaton said as much, Smeaton and Opsa Ali. So that's what I think.
BYU gets all 4 through in the steeple as well. They got a lot of championship experience there with Shumway and Owens. You're excited about the 400 hurdles?
Quincy Hall told me he's going to run 47 seconds, and seemed to not. I said, 47 mid? And he said,
People tell the truth to Lincoln.
Yeah. So, I mean, world record. No, I'm just kidding. He looked not good, which is interesting, but he said that was a product of holding back. No, he won his heat. He still ran 49.0, which would have been the fastest time in the NCAA, but he looked sloppy a little bit in between hurdles. He said that that's all going to be fixed in the final, where he's just going to go. So he held back, ran what would have been the fastest time of the year by someone not named him. That made no sense, but you get it. He still ran really fast and didn't look good. I think he'll fix that and run really, really fast. So 47 seconds, that's obviously tough. Ray Benjamin ran 47.02. He's not breaking the collegiate record, but I do think he's going to run 47.
Other things to mention, Mississippi State goes 1-2-3 in the men's javelin.
Right.
It's just Javelin U, I think.
Javelin U.
They've earned it. And then hometown winner in the shot put.
Yeah, Trip. I hope I got his name right. Piperi? Is that what it is, Travis? Piperi? There you go.
Travis is tired.
He got a new coach this year. Zeb Sion came over from Stanford, and they seem to have clicked right away. And so beating Jordan Geis, beating Peyton Noterall, who it's interesting. I want to see if we can figure out kind of what. I mean, other people elevated their game, but he was everything indoors. Yeah. And outdoors hasn't been the same so far. So yeah, big win for Trip Piperi. I know Austin is rioting right now after that victory. So 6th Street, you can't even go down there.
Like the tower.
No, good for him. So yeah.
Big prediction for Thursday.
Thursday is the first day of the women's competition, obviously, so that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot more female representation on the track. I mean, Kalai's going to win the 10K, and you can't foresee any surprises. Another good pole vault competition, though. I mean, collegiate record holder. It's not Mondo scale.
Yeah.
But collegiate record holder Olivia Groover going up against the trio from Arkansas, 2 sisters and then not a sister. So that'll be fun. Big things for the team race.
So do you have a prediction or not? For tomorrow, give me a good prediction.
The prediction is that Wani Kaladi wins by more than a minute.
More than a minute?
Yeah. More than a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's a big prediction.
I'll go Janique Brown's going to run sub 12.5 in the hurdles.
That's good. That's good. I mean, it's great weather here for the sprint, so it's
Well, and it could be decent weather for the distance once they're going to start at a later time. Tomorrow, they bumped up the schedule 2 hours for everything except.
How about one of the big 4 in the 100? So speaking of Terry, Daniels, White, and Richardson, one of those 4 misses the final. I think. I don't know why. I just feel it.
Yeah, but all big 4 for the men made it through.
Yeah.
It's hard to envision it's hard to envision one of those 4. They've been so solid this year.
Yeah. All right. That sounds it. That sounds good. We've recapped it. It's now 11:40. So we'll do this all again starting at what? Tomorrow at 7? Seems about right.
Sounds good.
All right. See you guys later.